What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and with me tonight, it's Chris, the stats man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey. The Anthony Edwards is now 0 of 12 on go-ahead or game-time field goal attempts in the last 5 seconds of the fourth or overtime. The only player to have more attempts without a make is LeBron, who is 0 of 19 since Anthony Edwards was drafted. So it's a tough break for both of those guys.
Didn't Michael Jordan have a quote or something like that? I took this. You only remember the ones I make. It's I don't know exactly what it is, but you know who would? The lawn boss, Joe McCroskey. Get that, Joe?
That's tough.
That's tough. He's like, no, maybe not.
No. You only remember the shots that you make.
Yeah.
Not all the shots you take. I don't know, something like that. I like how you called him the Anthony Edwards, Chris.
Did I?
Yeah, you said the Anthony Edwards as if
0 of 12.
I didn't even realize that.
This is what you said. This is since he's been drafted here.
Since he's been drafted in the final 5 seconds of four, so it's kind of, it doesn't mean he's not clutch. It's just in the last 5 seconds.
Clutch.
He's not clutch.
He's not the clutch.
He's not DeRozan clutch.
Yeah, right. Man.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Well, we got a fun show.
Player of the year last year.
LeBron. Oh, yeah, was not the. Oh,
yeah, he got robbed last year.
Oh, yeah, he got robbed. It's all right. He'll maybe have a chance at it here. And
yeah, cool.
I know. We got a fun show tonight. We're gonna play a little box in, box out. That's where we go over some questions and we tell you if we box in or box out on that question. Then we're gonna give out some different takes on NBA 3v3 teams. So the unrivaled WNBA team or league started, or women's basketball league started, 3-on-3. We thought it'd be fun to make some NBA comps, NBA 3-on-3 teams. Could be fun. And at the end, we'll finish it up with a little bit of trade talk. Are the shoes a real sign? We don't know.
Do the shoes matter? Does the shoe fit?
Does the shoe fit? That's a great one. Does the shoe fit, guys? All right. Well, first off, box in, box out. We're going to start here with question 1. Memphis and Houston are real contenders. Do you box in or you box out on this? Chris, we'll start with you on this. What do you think, man?
Yeah, I am boxing out on this question. I don't. Maybe I'm biased with Memphis. I used to like Memphis. No, I've never really liked Memphis. I just don't like Memphis. I like Edey. This is a weird team. All right, they got. I don't know if they're the only team in the league, but they have nobody that is averaging at least 30 points a game. They're like the anti-Thibodeau team, where nobody plays that often on this team. Literally the only guy who has played every game. Sorry, there's 2. Is Scottie Pippen Jr. and Jalen Wells, who
who you've definitely heard of.
Jalen Wells is a rookie. Could be the Roy. Started 38 to 43. Then Pippen, we only know him because of his father, who's kind of gone off the deep end lately.
His name is familiar.
John Morant has missed 18 games, guys. I didn't realize it was that many. They're a great team. Jaren Jackson Jr. is having a good season. Bane's having a great year. They play terribly against the Timberwolves and still pulled it out. So it shows that, hey, they're actually a really dynamic, fun, good team. They got a lot of guys, but when it comes to the playoffs, you kind of just need 8 guys. I don't know if their top 8 guys would beat a top 8 like Denver or
OKC.
Well, especially OKC.
Yeah.
So that's where I box out of Memphis. Did you ask for Houston as well, or just Memphis?
Yeah, Houston as well. If you want to maybe circle back and we can get Joe.
Let's circle back on let's get Joe. Yeah.
All right, Joe. You get Memphis. You box in, box out on Memphis as a contender.
Box out should be you agree, right? Because doing a box out is a good thing, right? If you box out.
I think we've established boxing out is the bad thing. You're boxing it out. I'm out.
You don't like this question. You want this out of the paint.
Okay. I want it out of the paint. Well, in that case, then I box out as well.
I box out as well.
I box out as well. Similar thoughts on Chris, but maybe a little bit more on Memphis, leaning towards the experience card. I know they had a little bit of run there. What was that? 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But Ja obviously hasn't been around in the past few seasons towards the end to make that. He's obviously their most experienced player. Jaren Jackson Jr. has been around for a little while too, guys. But in terms of like playoff chops, they don't quite have it yet. While the other teams are obviously getting those chops, and also I think just the way of play and like that. They've got like 4 or 5 guys averaging like over 20, but no dominant, go-to guy. Ja can be that, but the consistency just maybe isn't there. And when you get in the playoffs, right, we always talk about what team has that guy that's going to take them over the edge. And I feel like in Memphis's case, they're missing that. I think the argument is just it's Ja, right? But we haven't
be available
to be able to say with certainty that like if they got into a series with a Denver, with a probably even like a Minnesota, like are you trusting Memphis against Minnesota in a 7-game series?
This Minnesota?
Wait, if I ask that, you guys are saying yes.
I don't know.
I say no, Joey.
I feel like I'd still trust. I feel like I'd still trust Minnesota.
I don't know, man. Ant's 0 for 12 and
Ant's 0 for 12. Sure.
Good point.
Oh man, good point. Fair point. Just stats.
Yeah. I'm just leaning on the consistency part and the experience part at this point. I think they need like another season of this. They probably need one good run in the playoffs to kind of make you feel a little bit better about where they're at.
I kind of hear what you guys are saying. I'm gonna box in on Memphis though,
because I love Ja.
And I think you hit the nail on the head there, Joey. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, look, let's be honest. It's a big if he's there, if he's healthy and available. But if he's there, he's a difference maker. He's an Ant. He's a Jokic level is not quite right, but he's a Shea maybe type. Ooh. So light, you know what I mean? He's a guy. He's a guy that can.
He's like a homeless man's Derrick Rose, right?
Something like that. Yes, a homeless man's Derrick Rose. But I
don't want to say poor man's.
I think he could be that guy in a playoff series. You know me, I love the net rating. Currently, they're number 4 in the net rating, which may be a technicality, but puts them square in the contender category. As again, over the last 10 years, only one team has ever won and not been in the top 5, and they were the top 6 net rating team, and they had Nikola Jokic. So I think that's okay. And I think they, maybe is it just by committee and they're more of a regular season team? Maybe feels that way, but I also wouldn't be shocked if they made a deep run this year. I don't really see them winning a title this year. I don't think that's really on the table, but I think they're, an outside contender. So we'll see, at least right now. And for the purposes of this conversation. Whereas like Houston, I'll box out on Houston as a start, and then we'll go back around the horn. Because again, maybe a little bit of the technicality. Right now, they're number 6 in the net rating. And like I said, only one time in the last 10 years, Jokic. So, and I don't think they have anybody in that ballpark. I think they're a real good team, solid team. I think they're going to have a fun playoff run here. But again, I feel like they're more of let's wait until see next year and the year after. Joey, what do you think about Houston? You boxing in and boxing out on them as a real contender?
Yeah, I'm boxing out harder on Houston than I am on Memphis. I think they're worse off than Memphis in terms of clutch player experience.
Yeah,
I think you said something right. Are they like the what's the word you said? Like the definition of like a squad or a team that translates really good in the regular season. Like we talked about in our New Year's resolutions, Houston is probably like a move or two away from piecing it together. They've got some pieces, but they just need to figure out like which ones they're sticking with and which ones they're going to move on from to bring in somebody that can do some of that heavy lifting. Because Thompson, fantastic. Şengün, fantastic. But are you trusting those guys and in a contender type game? Like I'm not putting stock in that yet, right? They're not there yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they can't be, but at this point in the game, it's not ready to be called contenders.
Yeah, this is a great season, pat on the back type of. All right, guys, next couple of years, let's see what you can do. Chris, what are you doing? Boxing in, boxing out.
What's interesting with Houston, they have 3 guys averaging 30+ minutes per game. Jalen Green, Sengun have played all 42 games, started each and every one. They've had consistency. They've had the same lineup. They got Brooks, they got Van Vliet, they got Jabari and Eamon, who are the only two kind of switching off with Jabari getting hurt for a minute here, and Eamon's been taking the starting minutes. Dylan Brooks is averaging a -3 box plus minus. He is a cancer on this team, and it is going to take way too long for them to realize that. I think it's going to take them like a bad playoff loss for them to realize Dylan Brooks shouldn't be, the one getting these minutes. I actually saw it to -2.1, but still, you shouldn't be start getting 30 plus minutes a game. Eamon Thompson's 2.7, then 5.5 for Sengun. I like the veteran leadership with Van Vliet, and Green, but no, I'm boxing out of this question too. I liked this question when I first made it. And then when I started digging in more, I really wanted to like Houston, but I just don't like the players as much. I like Memphis players more, but I don't like the way they're constructed. Like it's weird. Like both of these teams are just imperfect in very different ways, and it just for other teams that are perfect, like OKC, maybe we'll get to Denver because I think they're kind of forming into a nice little group there. Those are my front runners.
That's a good point. Like if I feel like maybe as a good segue in the Denver question, but if we would have had this question like 4 weeks ago, maybe we would have been a little bit more boxing in. But with Denver kind of doing what they've been doing, I feel like we're starting to maybe be like, this is this 2-3 flirting for Memphis and Houston, maybe kind of not a fraud, but
just early season.
Early season. Maybe not a true representation of where they belong and of the power ranking and the stack ranking of the Western Conference.
A Bulls #1 seed early January comes to mind.
That was real. That was all real.
I don't know about
it.
It
feels like a fever dream at this point.
Feels like a fever dream. I don't know. That one doesn't feel as real as it did at the time. All right, going into our next question for Box and Box Out. Denver and Dallas are the true second and third best teams in the West. Do you box in or do you box out? Chris, what do you think, man?
Oh, yeah. You box right into this. You let them right in that paint. Right in that paint.
Go
I'm looking at box plus minus. Again, it's my favorite stat for the day. Nikola Jokic has a league-leading 14.2 box plus minus. Like, it's just absurd what this guy can do on the court. Advanced stat-wise, if basketball was run like baseball and awards were given out that way, Jokic would be running away with it. But because the sport is not baseball, we're going to give it to Shea. Nikola Jokic is wholeheartedly the best reason why you put in faith in this team. You're just hoping somebody around them can come together and be that second option. Jamal Murray's been okay, but he just hasn't been that guy. Russell Westbrook's been coming around to be that second guy.
He's finding
which
himself
has been
there.
Great. They're kind of like looking at their stats side by side. They're like the same person, Russell and Jamal Murray. And I think it's nice to have, if you have 75% of Jamal Murray, you might as well have two of them, right? Who are both at 75% of what Jamal Murray's peak is. So that's 1.5.
1.5 Jamal Murrays.
I don't know what that kind of right.
I have 1.5 Jamal Murrays.
There's some logic in this, maybe.
I'm seeing it. I see it.
And we know what this lineup is. We know there's 7 or 8 guys that we need for the playoffs. I think there's some revenge here that for them. They got the way they went out last year.
A little bit of
he's just at the peak of his powers. You take the best guy on the best team in the playoffs, and that's what I'm thinking.
Joey, are you on the same page with Denver?
Yeah, I think the interesting thing is Westbrook, because if you think about his last 2 stops, right? Lakers, then Clippers.
Yeah.
LeBron, I don't know if he wanted Russell, but there was an understanding out there, I think, that it was kind of his doing to bring him there.
Yeah.
Couldn't make it work. Kind of got dumped to the Clippers, couldn't make it work. But then Jokic wanted Westbrook, right? Like that's the story floating out there, is that Jokic was campaigning for the front office to go out and get him. And everybody thought Westbrook was washed and done and leave it to Jokic to be like, no, I need him.
Got him, yeah.
I need him here to give me energy and make my team press and do things and just run with me. It's weird to say, but like him coming around has been the kind of like turning point for them, right? Because they were kind of just middling. And then as soon as he started hitting the floor and playing consistent minutes and playing the way he has, they've been on a meteoric rise here as a team. Jamal Murray has kind of gone by the wayside. Like, I feel like he's not even a thought on that team anymore. Like, when people start talking about Denver, I feel like it's you go Jokic, Westbrook, and then it's like, well, is it going to be Aaron Gordon or Michael Porter Jr. that kind of comes along? And it's like, well, what about Jamal Murray? That's probably a good thing because at some point Murray's going to have to start scoring again.
Yeah,
have to get back to himself, and I'm sure they're hoping that comes in the playoffs. But when you're looking at the standings and looking at the last two teams we just talked about, there's no world in which anybody can convince somebody that the Nuggets are worse than Memphis or Houston. It's just not possible.
I think I agree with you guys here, especially on Denver. I think they are the real second best team. I think they're going to be the real threat to OKC, mostly because of Jokic. He's the best player in the league, I think, without question right now. 8-2 in their last 10. So that's pretty good. Westbrook's been making a push, so that's pretty good. Hey, 8-2 is pretty good.
Pretty good.
And I do think Jamal's sort of maybe finding his rhythm a little bit now. I know he had a real slow start, and he hasn't been playing up to speed. But he's a guy that I think I'm ready for him in the playoffs. We'll talk a little bit about Jimmy, I think, later, but he seems like more in that mold of the 16-game player, not an 82-game player.
Sure.
So, and we'll see. But yeah, I think they are the true second best team in the West. Dallas, I'm not as sold on. I'm a little bit of a Dallas hater, but I think I would have Memphis over them as the third team, and then maybe Dallas as the 4. Right now, they're 3-7 in their last 10. Injuries up and down the lineup here. They're a team that I just don't have a ton of faith in right now. How about you guys, Joey? What do you think about Dallas?
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's the injuries that give you pause, and after seeing last year, like I feel like maybe we've seen the peak of what Dallas is. So I guess maybe in terms of the question, second and third best team. So like we're talking seeding wise, we're talking like actual.
I think the actual, yeah.
I think in terms of like seeding, like sure they're probably gonna find a way into like that 3 seed. Like I could see it happening, but in terms of like second and third best team in the West, I just last year I think was their absolute best and absolute max that they're going to achieve. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of starting to. I think I said this earlier in the season. Like I'm starting to get out on Luka a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit of fatigue. It's not helping that he's been injured this season. Obviously, forget that. Now he's probably going to come back and do something really crazy and do some stupid stuff and make everybody remember it. But I think Memphis takes Dallas. So I'm like half boxed in, half boxed out. I'm boxed out on Dallas and boxed in on Denver.
Yeah, I think that's the correct way to do it.
half in on one, half on D, half off D.
Yeah, boxed in on Denver being the second best team, boxed out on Dallas being the third best team.
Yes.
We really gotta clean this up. It's okay.
I kind of like it. You gotta figure out.
You gotta think about it.
You gotta plan
to think about it.
Chris, Dallas for you. Where are you at, man?
Dallas, man. Derek Lively's he's out for 2 to 3 months. Talk about injuries with this team. Luka, I don't know. Is he coming back soon? I'm not sure what the timetable is on that. Kyrie has missed 10 games, but probably nobody knew that because, of course, he's missed 10 games. Yeah. It just happens. Right. Daniel Gafford has 4.4 win shares. What was the other thing? A 72% true shooting percentage. What are some other? There's like a 4.1 box plus minus. Like the stats he's put up, he's like the greatest. He should be the 6th man, but because there's people like Peyton Pritchard, this is like the Taj Gibson of bench, big men in the league right now. And Daniel Gafford, he's fantastic. Just want to
shout him out, the big man.
Shout him out. Well, and but then Bulls. His team they're still competitive. Yeah, exactly. The Dallas is still getting wins over Minnesota. Everyone's beating Minnesota right now. They regress the hell.
He's
but sorry,
the throes of it.
I am boxing out on Dallas. Too many injuries. I think it's like
Yeah.
a gap year for them. I feel like every other year Luka's legacy is gonna be like every other year he was in the conference finals or the finals. Feels like, and then he had to take a year off.
Yeah,
and then he went in again, and it's just feels like that might be the pattern for him. So
yeah,
It's fair.
yeah. I'm boxing out on Luka. I saw what I needed to see. We'll see. He's got to prove it to me. You hear that, Luka?
Titus needs you to prove it.
You need to prove it.
That's tough.
That's tough. No, it's yeah. I kind of agree with you guys. I think it's a good way to look at it. Denver is for real. Dallas, we'll see. They gotta get help.
I guess the only team from this exercise, we just like Denver. That's it.
Yeah, we just like Denver.
I guess. I don't know.
And like an outside
Memphis a little
hope
bit.
of
Memphis is-
Memphis. Memphis is fine, but they're.
No,
I mean,
Memphis
like
is
realistically, realistically, let's be honest here. But I think they could be interesting with Ja. I can see it. They still got hope. Another team with a very interesting player, the San Antonio Spurs. So are you guys boxing in or boxing out? The Spurs will play at least 5 playoff games. Now, I wanted to clarify something. This includes play-in because right now they're currently in the 12 seed. So they're currently out, I believe. Let me get double check that. But
yeah, they're the 12.
So this is like, so this is any playoff games count, correct? If they were to play 2 play-in games and then
I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking it more like they win
first round series. They win 1 game.
They win. They win a game in the first round.
okay. Do we want to include play-in?
Does it change? So clearly Titus is boxing.
Yeah, let's hear.
out if
All right,
they're
maybe
in
this
play-in.
is-
Let's hear Titus's thing on
I-
this.
box
Right now, I
in,
got to
yeah.
box out, man. I just like they're not even in the play-in yet. Like they got to get in. Looking at everybody ahead of them. I know there's teams that aren't great. Golden State right now is currently ahead of them, things like that. But they're all teams that have incentive to win, not necessarily what San Antonio might be doing this year. So I could see San Antonio maybe pulling the brakes a little bit here, not quite getting into the play-in, or maybe
parachute.
or maybe just not being super concerned with winning a play-in game, which what is it, Wemby's second, third year here, so it's getting a little
Second year.
second year. So it's getting a little.
They've lost.
We got time, but
6 of the last 7 games as of this recording.
Yeah.
So I think that's. I hear you on your. Again, when this question was first put together, they did not have 4 of these losses.
Yeah, they were. I mean, if you look, they're just outside of the play-in right now. I mean, there's like a game or 2 behind. So
yeah, it's a game and a half behind. Phoenix, who is 10th.
But Phoenix is trying to win, man.
You look at the teams in front of them. Phoenix is trying to win. Minnesota's trying to win. Sacramento's trying. All these teams are trying to win. The LA team, Sacramento, San Antonio has less incentive to win right now, right? Even though Chris Paul likes to win. Like, sorry, Chris.
Sorry, Chris.
You can come back next year if you want. Yeah. Are they
kind of screwed though? Because like they're almost in like Bulls land, right? Where they started off the season kind of okay, and they thought they had something going, and they won enough. Like they can't just throw it in now. Like they're too far ahead to be considered one of the worst teams by the time the season ends.
Yeah,
so
but
but teams have done that before. Like Utah was 500 and they won 4 of their last 31 games.
That's a good point.
I
remember that season we thought Utah was actually kind of okay for a while.
Like, this could be good.
Is this going to happen? Are they going to be okay?
Again, that was another one that in hindsight felt pretty obvious that we bought it.
Like I'm starting to get like Pelicans vibes, like Anthony Davis Pelicans vibes from the Spurs.
Okay.
What? Why?
They've got the freakish talent, big man who can dribble the ball and
I think
play
he's kind of
outside.
out on Wemby. I think you're kind of out on Wemby here.
I am. I don't know if I'm out on Wemby as much as I'm out on the management of him. Like, I think it sucks for them that like it's San Antonio. So like, is he going to re-sign another deal there? What do they have to keep adding? Like, are you getting free agents to San Antonio right now?
Chris Paul?
Yeah, exactly.
There's Chris.
That's great for him this year, but like Chris Paul, like what after that?
Yeah, where was he going? I'm a little bit with you because it does feel like Wemby is so good. It feels weird to sort of not push with him, but it's one thing I think you have to think about. Again, he's only been in the league 2 years. I don't think he's really ready to win. I don't think it matters that much right now that they're not winning. I think, even as annoying as it may seem, get back to me in like 3 years, and if they still really aren't making strides to like start getting into some playoff series, I think then you got to start questioning the management of Wemby.
Yeah, is it the management? I just don't know. Like I feel like they're kind of like screwed, like kind of like the Pelicans were. Like it wasn't that it was like mismanaged. It was just that like nobody wanted to go play in New Orleans. Like, do people want to go play in San Antonio? Like who is willingly going to be a free agent and looking at offers, and unless it's only one, but like if you have competing offers, you're probably not gonna chase.
You'd want to play
San Antonio.
You'd want to play with Wemby though.
Yeah,
right?
but like, are they looking for free agents? Like, I think they're looking to really build young talent. I think they've been trying to
right. That's what I'm saying. Is like
so
he's on his rookie deal, so he's got 3 years left. 2 years, 2 years really, because the last year is usually like I don't know if it's locked in or whatever, but like
option.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird position for them.
Yeah.
They got Devin Vassell, who's a solid guard. Stefan Castle's having a good rookie year. Keldon Johnson's okay. But yeah, like that, they're kind of thin to Joey's point. Like,
yeah.
I don't like them. I think we had such high expectations for Wemby this year. And then to see him take 9 threes a game.
It's hurting everybody's heart.
It hurts, man. He's got those, go-go gadget extender arms. We only see it like maybe, every other game. The guy should be just mashing inside. It doesn't make any sense. Not even all just mashing, just like driving to the paint. I don't know, man. Like, I just
do something.
I don't like all the shots. It's too many.
It's getting old, man. I think you do have guys may have a point though. Like it's thin. Like, I don't see the core yet. Obviously, Wemby's the piece, right? But like to Joey's point, like who are these other guys that you can see like, all right, those 2 or 3 guys in the next, 3 years are really going to start to pop. That's what's you're starting to see. Yeah. Like you said, Vassell, solid guard, but like, all right, you have solid pieces around them, but you don't have anybody that you're like really excited about. I think maybe that's going to be the issue for San Antonio down the road.
Or is it kind of like a Philadelphia where it's like your process was to not be good to get the really good player? You got the really good player. You kind of got some pieces around it, but is it ever going to work out enough? Or are you going to get your big piece to sign that one more deal? Be like, come on, stick with us. We'll give it one more run. And then your max is Joel Embiid. Like, man, I don't know. I just got
Joel Embiid got to ruin.
I just got weird vibes. Weird vibes in that.
All right, I'm not. I don't think you're.
So wait, the question was, will he win 5 playoff games?
Yeah, and then we just tried to.
I kind of felt like when you said that you came up with it like 2 weeks ago, and now it's hard to determine. So I just decided to change the topic. But I'll box out because they're not in the playoffs yet, so they can't win 5 games.
Yeah, I think I think you kind of have the box out right now. Chris, are you boxing in? Do you think they're going to make some?
I would have 2 weeks ago when I thought of this question, but now I'm out. Now I
would have too. If they were in the play-in already, I would box in with you. But being 12 seed, I'm not.
I think the funniest thing is that when we skipped these questions 2 weeks ago, we said they're evergreen.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
we were like, those will be good next week. It's fine.
Denver started going on a tear. Yeah. Spurs are losing streaks. The heck?
Yeah, it would have been a hotter take. Denver's second, because I still was thinking Denver was the second best team.
Yeah, my New Year's resolution was figure it the fuck out.
Like, I think they're fine, but
they figured it out. Russell Westbrook,
they figured it out. All right, well, let's have some fun here. Unless you guys got anything more to say about Wemby's management.
I've already scorched earth it. I'm good.
Scorched earth, yeah.
3-on-3 guy, maybe, right?
Yeah, maybe a 3-on-3 guy. So the Unrivaled League started. Have you guys caught any of it? I have not partaken in it, but
no. But I did see Caitlin Clark with Taylor Swift at the Chiefs game.
Oh, okay.
Not doing the Unrivaled 3-on-3, but instead
taking it in Chiefs game. Could be going for 3-and-3. That's the different.
She's a Chiefs fan. Grew up a Chiefs fan. It's the closest.
I did not know that
sports thing. I guess
to Iowa,
where she was growing up. Yes.
That sounds correct.
It
Geographic.
at least made sense because at first I was like, "Oh, cool." She hung out with Taylor
Cool.
Swift. I was like, "Okay, at least there's like her family actually grew up Chiefs fans."
Yeah. She's not a bandwagon fan like Taylor.
She's not a homie.
I'm a homie. Well, enough football coverage. Bucks up, boys.
More football now.
We wanted I think we ended up all taking a little bit of different slices at this here for the best 3-on-3 teams. Joe, you said you made a team, correct?
Yeah, I came up with 3 guys that I.
We keep it 3
That's
guys.
how I was looking at it too. But
So, all right, so Chris, you did that. All right, you guys did it right. I did it wrong, and I came up with some of the best NBA team 3-on-3 teams. So that's
So the
kind of
best
what
NBA
I did.
teams that have the best group of 3 players.
I just did some fun players. I just did some teams that were like these. I think these would be fun 3-on-3 players. So why don't you guys go ahead and give us your made up teams, and I'll kind of throw some NBA rosters at you.
Chris, you want to go back and forth, and if we one of us picks, we have to swap. Okay. So,
sure.
like, if I say a guy you pick, you got to pick a new one. All right. You can go first since I'm making the rules.
Nikola Jokic.
It's a good one. I'm taking Giannis.
Oh, all right, Giannis.
Okay. Since we're doing it this way now,
He's got a.
I'm going to take Zach LaVine.
Okay.
He's 45% from 3 this year.
Yeah, he is.
You know, he's
Jokic
and he
and Zach
drives to the paint like a monster when he wants to. So
Yeah.
Can you imagine a Jokic Zach pairing in a 3-on-3?
Yeah, there is an Elam ending though at the end. So, are you trusting his defense to lock down to keep it?
It's okay.
You're locked
He's
in.
like he went all offense so far.
My second one, I'm taking Kyrie. I'm going handles and shooting and speed.
All right. Well, that's easy. Zach can get around him. No problem. That's fine.
Just rise up.
But then he's going to run into Giannis.
What's a good 3? Now I got to rethink my 3-and-D option because I had
Patrick Williams is still available.
Who's still available?
Patrick Williams, your favorite.
Oh,
Yeah, he will.
No,
project.
I guess like I don't know, I want someone like Lou Dort then.
A Dort? The torture chamber.
The torture chamber.
Lou Dort. Okay.
Yeah.
I think his catch and shoot numbers have been insane this year.
So you
Pretty
got
sure he's shooting. Yeah.
you got Dort, Zach,
Right.
and Jokic. Solid.
All right.
It's like Dort, Zach, but when you have Jokic, it sounds
Yeah.
fantastic. It doesn't matter.
I don't know how. I mean, like, this is gonna sound silly. I don't know.
Yeah,
how
he's shooting.
Jokic
Lou
would
Dort's
be.
shooting 42% from 3 this year, and he's like the best lockdown defender in the league. So
Yeah.
no,
I'm fine with that. It's a 3-and-D all the way.
All right,
Joe,
so
your
I've got-
last pick.
So I've got Kyrie running the show mostly. I've got Giannis destroying people
Doing
at the
everything.
rim, and for my last, I need a shot maker in the clutch. I need a clutch shot maker. We got a
Yeah,
short
yeah,
court,
Kyrie, no?
guys. We've got a shortened court. Remember, right?
Oh,
It's-
sure. Corbin, I didn't even really dig into the
court
rules
is
on this.
Shrunk down here. I'm taking DeMar DeRozan. It's my third.
DeRozan. All right.
Hey.
Yeah. The mid-range monster.
DeMar and Lou Dort. That's a good matchup. I can live with that. I can.
The
live with-
court already got smaller.
It doesn't
now
matter.
it-
It's there's only 3 people on it
Yeah.
because you don't really need
Court
him.
already
Like,
got smaller.
it's fine. I mean, he's a willing passer if he needs to, but he's also a non-willing passer. So sometimes Elam ending. Come on. You
It's
want him
such a weird
backing
way to
somebody down?
describe someone. He's a willing passer. Like he doesn't want to, but he will if he has to.
Basically, what I'm thinking is in that world, the whole court is a mid-range shot for him, so he can just shoot from anywhere because the court is smaller. So he's just more comfortable everywhere.
All right.
That's my controversial pick.
I will be the third person judge on this. I just feel I think Chris's team is just gonna cook your team, but
Thank you.
Wow.
I think Giannis is the biggest factor. Kyrie, okay, and then DeRozan.
I'm thinking like handles Kyrie. Come on, like that doesn't get me anything in a 3-on-3 tournament.
It could, but he's
He's
got
only gotta
Dort.
beat one
He's
guy.
got
Hold
Dort.
your setting.
He's got to beat one guy. He's got to beat Zach LaVine. Instead of
He's gotta beat
Giannis
Dort.
pick, gonna switch him.
He's got Dort.
Boom.
Yeah, if I'm the coach, I'm throwing Levine on DeRozan. I'm like, you go ahead, DeRozan. If you beat us, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm not letting Giannis. I'm not letting Kyrie do anything. But Jokic, I don't know what Jokic is doing Giannis either, though. That's
I got
3 on
taken
3
down
situation.
by Lou Dort. Lou Dort is the kryptonite to my team here.
That's a great pick. It's a great 3 on 3 pick. I had him on my OKC 3 on 3.
I didn't take any defense. That's fine. It's fair. I took Giannis.
Fair.
Hey, you're knocking me for not taking defense, and then I hear, well, you took Giannis. Giannis was
Giannis is going to
That's
erase
fine.
a lot of things at the rim, so you're fine.
Yeah.
But I think 3 on 3 is quick shots, a lot of pace. This is where I'm a little nervous for Jokic. It's a very fast paced game. I don't know if he's slowing it down. DeRozan's slowing it down. Could be good, could be bad. All right, I went a different way with this. I said I was thinking if the NBA became a 3 on 3 league,
Ooh,
who would have if they became the unrivaled, all of a sudden, and then who would have some of the most fun 3 on 3 teams? So I just kind of went a little bit. There's obvious ones, but I did have a little bit of fun. A lot of some of the same players came up on my list. So I thought the Kings would have a fun team with Fox, DeRozan, and Sabonis as a 3 on 3 team. Thought that'd be interesting.
some pace.
Be some pace. I thought the Nuggets, obviously, with Jokic, Murray, and MPJ, I ended up putting on that team. I think that's a great 3 on 3 team. And then I thought some other fun teams that I thought would be really good. The Rockets with Jalen Green, Sengun, and Amin Thompson.
That'd be a really good 3 on 3 team.
That'd be a really good 3 on 3 team. I think they could maybe make some real noise there. Also, the Knicks would be awesome with Cat, Brunson, and Bridges. Thought that's great. And then I thought the Cavs would also have a great team: Mitchell, Garland, and Mobley. Thoughts on those?
Is it weird that the Cavs is my least favorite of all of those?
It's funny. I'm pretty sure Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, didn't they play together in a 3 on 3 thing?
They might have.
I think it was Allen, Mobley, and Garland did that 3 on 3 thing. The skills challenge one, I think it was.
I think Garland a little small, but Mobley's a stretch big. Mitchell's going to be great 3 on 3.
This might be a tough question to ask. I like all those teams are fine. I think those could all work great. What's who's the worst team in the league that could actually put out a really good squad still for a 3 on 3?
The worst team that could put out a good squad.
They could put out a good squad. Man, that's why I should have dug deeper. I was trying to find some teams that would be
like the Wizards would be Kuzma, Poole, and Jonas. So that's no.
About the Pistons.
Pistons might be interesting.
That's pretty good. Cade, Oscar Thompson.
The third is the
Stu or Jalen Duren. Yeah,
Jalen Duren would be all right.
Wemby, Chris Paul, Devin Vassell. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Miami.
I think of Jimmy,
Hero, Bam, Jaime.
What about the Bulls? Giddey, Levine, Vucevic.
No.
That's okay.
No, Giddey. I mean, he's moving the ball. Maybe Kobe, Levine, Vucevic,
maybe Lonzo.
What about the Pelicans?
Pelicans would be interesting too.
I think that could be the best one.
Zion,
DeJounte,
Ingram. DeJounte.
Put Ingram. Trey Murphy the third's been.
It's.
I think it's.
They have so many guys. This team just has. You can make like 3 on 3 teams from these guys.
Jordan Hawkins, fantastic.
Zion, if he was able to play, would be a filthy
he'd be a monster
player.
If we want to talk about who can play, if they would play, maybe the Sixers, I guess, with Embiid, Maxey, and
and
Paul
George. I still think about.
It's such a big ass.
Just don't even want to.
I'm still out. The team still sucks.
You suck.
Oh man, that's funny. All right. Speaking of things that suck, this Jimmy Butler trade mess, and we're going to talk a little bit about trades here. This is the main one, right, Chris? We're thinking of talking about here.
This is it. I mean, we can talk about. There's Cam Johnson. I kind of want to talk about those articles I read about him, though, that the Nets are asking for too much. So another Bruce Brown situation, man. Another Kyle Kuzma from last year. Washington's trying to trade Kuzma now. Last year they wanted 2 firsts. Now they can't even. Yeah, they have to give a first to get off the Kuzma contract. It seems like.
Tell people all the time, just know what it's worth.
We're telling these GMs all the time, man. They're just not listening.
They're not listening to this.
Sean's reported that teams are calling the Bulls for Vooch and Zach.
Well, let's go. See, and the Bulls are
Every
Bulls are
year.
another team, dude. And when the Bulls actually make a trade, you think like they want to give up they are asking for so much, and then it's all of a sudden like a 1-for-1 swap.
It's
It's like,
a
oh,
I guess it's good though.
no
If the
picks.
report is
The
that
team has no
teams-
picks.
If the report is that teams are calling them, because last year it was the Bulls are shopping these guys and no one's listening. So
See,
if the
I don't. But this
table
is
is flipped, but the Bulls are
Vooch
probably like,
has to go,
"Oh,
right?
you want our players? That means you need
That's-
to give
yeah.
us."
dude, this
everything."
is the highest Vooch will ever be.
this
He
is
has to go.
more upsetting to me that we're even hearing about this. Because I'm like, we shouldn't be hearing teams are calling the Bulls. We should hear a trade was made for these.
Yeah, yeah.
There should be like, all right, you guys, yeah, that's fine, cool, take them.
But as
Thank
we'll
you.
learn
Teams
from
that
Chris,
need a
it's the
big man.
money. Everybody, I mean, Vooch is like a great backup center.
I'm wondering if if Vooch is still gonna get traded, but they're waiting for Cam Johnson to fall. And honestly, I don't know if Jimmy Butler's really.
So yeah, let's get into the Jimmy Butler
yeah, let's
part of
get
this
into
year. He's obviously asked for a trade out. He got suspended. He's been back. Chris, you said this is maybe getting a little bit.
Got a little
Yeah,
spicy.
got a little
I
spicy.
mean, it's one of those things where like, you can only hear so much news on Jimmy.
Yeah.
The fact that he wore the Suns colored shoes is a hilarious troll job. The fact that he keeps getting suspended feels like this is the Heat's way of being like, all right, let's just get rid of you for a couple more days to figure out this trade. The fact that the Phoenix Suns made one of the weirdest trades I've ever seen, where they traded an unprotected first for 3 protected first. They get the less of the Cavs, Timberwolves, and Jazz picks for the next 3 years, or 25, 27, 29. And the Jazz lose their 31st. So we're way out in the future for Utah. Is Utah going to be a juggernaut in like 6 years? Or are they going to fall flat like Philly? I think more the latter. We'll get to that. But I think so. What I like about this trade for Jimmy Butler is that I think if a team's going to trade for him, Phoenix is dumb enough to do it. Right?
Yes.
To get Jimmy on this team, to get off Bradley Beal. The problem is somebody has to take $160 million for the next 3 years of Bradley Beal money for a guy who like barely wants to be out there anyways. But so that's the struggle. Like, does Bradley? There's some rumor that Bradley Beal will go to Milwaukee. I can't imagine why Milwaukee would want him. That's just a worse version of what you got going on in Cleveland. You got 2 undersized guards, and Beal and Lillard.
That's gonna be brutal.
That would be, yeah. So I don't know, man. But I would like to see Jimmy just playing with KD and Booker. But I'm not hopeful. I am pessimistic.
Joe, you think any of this is going to happen? The smoke, the 3 picks thing is interesting. I think that's clearly a move by Phoenix. But
I'm trying to think of like what a good comparison is in like a real life situation. But it's like it's almost like when you're like a teenager and you like steal your parents' booze, and then you think that they kind of are catching on to you. So then you try to solve it by like adding water, but then maybe like there's a party coming up and your parents go to the booze cabinet, and it's like it's like the first act was the Bradley Beal trade, right? Like, I'm really desperate to get this booze, so I'm gonna go in the liquor cabinet and take it. And it's like, okay, I'm getting away with this. It's actually being okay for now. And then you're like, oh shit, everything's collapsing around me. What do I do? So then you start to add the water to it, which is like, okay, we got to get rid of this guy. And then the next act is like, okay, we're going to get rid of him, and we're going to try and bring Jimmy in, and we're going to cross our fingers that it's going to like not be noticed and it's going to work.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, it would be fun to see KD and Jimmy play, but I feel like they're just going to like, it's like a shit sandwich, right? Like, they screwed it up so bad the first time. Jimmy doesn't fix their problems. Like, it's a desperation move to try and salvage anything out of this. And I feel like for them, it's like salvaging is like, if we make it to the conference finals, they're like, yay, we did it.
Yeah, we did.
Jimmy doesn't move the needle for me in Phoenix whatsoever.
Yeah. I love that comparison.
The thing is also, I like that too, but the thing is also, Jimmy wants another contract, right?
Yeah, this is
you're going to sign Jimmy for 3 years at 160 probably. Are you just
what are we doing here,
keep
man?
adding water to the liquor bottle? Like, it's so.
This was done by a young 2 Shots Dominguez.
I think it's done by all 3 of us at some point.
And
I was
not Chris.
Chris
is a good kid.
Nope, I didn't. I honestly didn't do that.
Adult, great kid.
The Jimmy contract could be like when the bottle froze in the freezer because it was mostly water, and that was how it was.
Funny.
It was caught. Huh?
Ouch.
Why is my Bacardi frozen? I don't know. That's weird.
Oh, it's so
Like,
weird. They
alcohol
must have
doesn't freeze.
packaged it wrong.
It's weird. That's weird how that happens. But yeah, no. So the Jimmy thing could be, maybe throwing a little gas on this fire that doesn't need. I mean, the Beal thing was too much anyway. But
Right.
we've talked about this. Yeah, it's interesting. I think the 3 trades or 3 picks is obviously a move to maybe repackage that for something for Jimmy, but
I wish
don't
there was better stuff. Maybe next week we'll have more
More
trade
juice.
news to
Yeah,
talk
'cause
about.
it's February 6th is the trade deadline.
We
right?
got 3 weeks.
So we got
3 weeks?
the 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5 weeks.
2.5 weeks. We'll see if over under. All right, who gets traded first? Jimmy Butler or Zach LaVine?
Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Man, this is unbelievable. They're gonna keep Zach and Vooch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
are.
they keep. Yeah,
No,
I don't mind them
them.
keeping Zach at this point, but like they shouldn't keep Vooch. What are we doing? Are we just?
We're going to the play-in, baby.
They should trade.
We're
Vooch
keeping Vooch.
And
Yeah, no, they're
Patrick
not going to trade
Williams.
Vooch. They're
I
not.
want to see. I'd better see Vooch and Patrick Williams sent out.
What do you think they're off? What do you think they're saying that they want for Vooch? Like 2 firsts,
Probably.
or is even just 1 first like too much?
It's probably
Like
one
I don't
first
even
is
think
probably
he's
too much.
1 first.
even a pick in the 20s in the first round would probably be too much for Vooch, because
Yeah.
Vooch is like a 6th, 7th, 8th man, right? He's the
Yeah.
He'd
backup
be
big.
great in Denver as a backup to Jokic.
Yeah, okay. I can see
Kind of
that.
makes sense, I guess.
They
but
should just put
Who's their
Zach
backup now?
and
DeAndre Jordan.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
Everybody.
was-
Denver needs to do the Zach and Vooch trade. Just let's go. Come on, man. You guys need them.
Yeah. I don't think the Bulls are taking back what's coming. That's the
Yeah, that
problem.
would be
They don't
garbage.
want. They don't want MPJ.
That's fine. That's fair.
back.
Well, that is it for us tonight. Follow us on the social media at the Box Out Boys. Slide in those DMs. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on YouTube and Spotify. We very much appreciate that. So until next time, Box Out.